Hi everyone, in this video we'll see how to implement a function to check whether an input value, say an integer, n, is a prime or not. So first of all, as usual, we have to include the IOStream library, which allows us to use some elementary functions such as cin and cout of the standard library. And okay, we create this function that will return a boolean, which means true or false, and we call it is prime. And in particular, we return true if the integer n given as input is prime, and false if it's not. And okay, we need to iterate with a for loop from starting from 2, because 1 is not included as divisors of a prime number, and we call integer div equal to 2. Div must be lower than our input n over 2, and then we increment of 1 every time. And okay, we have to check if the remainder of the quotient n over div as a reminder of 0. So we say if n percentage symbol div equal 0, so if the reminder is 0, we have to return false, which means we have found a divisor, in our case div, which has no reminder, so the number in input n is not prime. Otherwise, if we arrive at the end of the for loop without ever finding a divisor with a 0 reminder, we just need to return true, which means it's a prime number. And okay, now we just need to check if our function is correct, and to do this we create a main, and let's say cout, we ask the user to insert an integer, and we declare our integer n, and we read it in input std cin n. Okay, now we have to check if this number is lower than 0, is negative. So we say while n is lower than 0, so while n is negative, we have to print the input value is negative. We \n, we create a new line, and we say insert a non-negative integer. This is just to check, and then we again read our input value, and here, for example, we can write insert a non-negative integer. And okay, at this point we have a non-negative n for sure, and we just need to check if it's prime or not with our function is prime. So we can say std cout, we get again a new line with \n, and we say the input, or maybe it is okay, maybe we can do like this. We do a switch case, so it's useful to learn also this. And here we just create a boolean variable, which is prime number, which is prime of our input value n. And now the switch is switch prime number. Okay, our cases are case true, and in this case we print it is prime. And then break. While for the case false, we just need to print std cout, we just need to print it is not prime. And then again we break, and finally we have the default case. Default, and we say just break. Okay, now we are done. Since we read this integer n, we check if it's negative or positive, and if it's negative, we read again until the user inserts a positive value or a zero value, and then we create this Boolean variable prime number to check if our input is prime, which in case it's true, it prints it is prime. While if a prime number is false, it prints it is not prime. And since this is int main, we just have to return 0. And here we can get a new line just okay for the imagination. And then we just start without debugging. We'll use the debug in case of we see some mistakes in the code. Okay, the build started. I'm sorry, but my PC is a bit slow lately. Okay, that's just a warning, but we see that there are no mistakes. And okay, insert a non-negative integer. For example, if I insert a -1, it says the input value is negative. Insert a non-negative integer. Now, for example, I print 13, and it says it is prime. Now we can check with, for example, another one, which, for example, I say 6, and it says it is not prime. So we see that our function is actually working. So we've just seen a really short example of how to implement a function, in this specific case, how to implement a check function if whether a number is prime or not. And I suggest you to watch other videos from my channel to see other C++ tutorials. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.